Hey pros, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So today we are doing a big chop on my client here who came in and who's extremely tender-headed. That's number one. But number two, she was just basically ready to get all of those straight pieces off of her hair. So we started off by doing a deep cleansing treatment using the Soothe and Balance pre-treatment. Now, this pre-treatment is good for those of you that are dealing with things like dandruff, dermatitis, dry scalp, itchy scalp. So we started by applying this to her hair while it was dry, and then you're able to massage it in and also use your comb to lift up any scalp buildup that might be going on. Secondly, this particular product is actually going to be having a sister come along the way, which will be the Soothe and Balance shampoo as well as the Soothe and Balance mask. So look out for those coming soon. So what I did was I went ahead and applied it to her hair, and then I'm going to go through and just use a fine-tooth comb and just help to lift up any buildup in the areas that I saw when I was just going through her scalp during the consultation. This product can be used on children. It can be used on adults. It is great for soothing the scalp. That's number one. Number two, it is great for helping to lift any additional buildup off of the scalp. And it is also good for those of you who have that dry, itchy scalp as well. The good thing is the pre-treatment does not dry the hair out any more than what the hair already is. And it also helps to cleanse the hair and the scalp all at the same time. So now we're going to go into the actual shampoo phase. So what I like to do after I've done my deep cleanse is go ahead and apply a little bit of water to the hair and the scalp. And then I just use the pre-treatment as my first shampoo. So at this step of the process, we're going to use it as if it was our clarifying shampoo. We're also going to use this to help cleanse her hair at the ends and then definitely cleanse the scalp itself. Now, because she has super long hair, let's talk about it. She is actually 100% natural. She is typically at the Dominican salons, and she's extremely tender-headed. So the fact that I was able to get through this service without her in any tears, I feel like I did my job because she warned me at the beginning. She's like, if you see me in tears, I'm extremely tender-headed. So the fact that I was able to get through this entire process with her and not have to deal with any ooches and owls was great. That means that I'm learning to be a little more gentle. But as we are shampooing her hair, I want you guys to take note that I am not manipulating her hair a little too much. The reason for that is because when you're dealing with clients who have long hair, who are also natural, who are also tender-headed, the worst thing you can do is go and add or be too aggressive with their hair and then cause the hair to tangle even more. So when I was dealing or working with her hair, I wanted to make sure that I did not create what I call rat's nest, bird's nest, whatever you want to call it. So for her treatment shampoo, I actually did a cocktail with the new Soothe and Balance shampoo as well as some moist repair shampoo. Now, I added the moist repair because I know that she is typically in the Dominican salons. They don't really change the shampoos and conditioners that they use. They use the same product for almost every single client. And her hair did feel slightly dehydrated, and it was also oily at the same time. So I wanted to also, number one, aid the fact that she has a little bit of dehydration going on. But number two, cleanse the hair because I know that she naturally has an oily scalp. Hence the reason why we did the pre-treatment, because I know that she's dealing with an issue of dermatitis or even dandruff. So oily hair does not equate to moisturized hair, you guys. That just means that her body has an overproduction of sebum, hence the reason why she has that congestion on the scalp. Now, after I did her shampoo process with the Soothe Me, the reason why I wanted to use the Soothe and Balance on her, specifically because I knew that I could not go through and do like an intense scrub on her, and I did want to make sure that I got rid of any itch and also cleanse the hair and the scalp all at the same time. So that was super important. But I also wanted to make sure that we did treat the fact that she is dealing with some dehydration. So that's another reason why I did that cocktail with the moist repair. And this is something that you guys can do at home with any one of our shampoos and conditioners. They are intermixable. That's the reason why I love my professional line, because they are intermixable and you can do so many different cocktails. Now for her conditioner, I'm using the Moist Me 24 karat mask. This is an intense hydration mask which is great for all hair types, but specifically for clients in her position, because number one, it makes my detangle process super easy. That's number one. Number two, it hydrates the hair almost on contact. And number three, it is a good enough product where a little will go a very long way. So just because she has all of that long hair does not mean that I needed to go and slather the entire jar on her head. Keep that in mind when you're using our products, you guys. Very important. Okay, so now I'm just rinsing her with cool water. If you guys can see her face, she is nice and content. She is relaxed. That is very important. She is relaxed, especially for my tender-headed clients. And she has that long hair, you guys. So if you guys notice, you'll notice that I keep picking her hair up out of the bowl, because when you're dealing with clients where their hair is super long like hers, that hair literally drops into the sink and it picks up all of the dirt and debris that is coming from the roots and the mid shaft, and then it gets trapped in the ends. So that's the reason why you guys keep seeing me lifting her hair up as I'm rinsing her, because I do want to make sure that everything is clean. Now, before I started the big chop process, I sprayed her down with a little bit of our Hydra Strength leave-in conditioner. Why? Because I wanted to go ahead and detangle her hair first. I did not want to put her in a position where she would be just not able to manage with me having to go through and cut all those ends off. And the good thing is that she only needed about, I say between 6 and 7 inches of hair cut in different areas. So some areas it didn't need a lot, like the nape of her neck did not need a lot cut off. But majority of those straight ends were more towards the side and the front. So, of course, we did cut off a good amount of hair, you guys. I'm not saying we didn't, but in her case, her back had grown out so far and it was shedding as well. That was another issue that she also had. So we wanted to make sure that we could take a lot of those ends off. And this is also going to make her detangling process a lot easier when she's at home, because every time you're detangling, you get caught at the ends where that hair is, or that line of demarcation is between the natural hair and even the hair that's still natural, but now it's straight and split. So it all needed to come off anyway. Now, after detangling her, this is definitely when the big chop is going to happen. And another reason for me detangling her is because I wanted to make sure that I could see all of the curl pattern, so I could distinguish between hair that needed to come off because it was straight and also hair that needed to come off because it was split. Now, I know a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, why is she even doing a big chop at this stage of the process? Listen, if she does not do that cut, eventually those split ends are going to go into the area where she has beautiful, healthy hair. So now is definitely the time to go ahead and take care of it. She still has length and her hair is going to grow out even healthier. Plus, she is not able to manage her own hair. She does not typically do her own shampoos and conditioners. So we also want to make sure that we are giving or setting her up for success going forward. Now, she does have a lot of straight pieces in the front that I was not able to get to. Hence the reason why I'm also following my guide from the nape all the way around, because that front area had a lot of straight ends that were a lot shorter or longer. Let me say that right way. A lot longer. And if I had cut those, then she would have literally bangs across her forehead. So the goal to this is, over time, she will just continue to trim her hair and take care of those straight ends. And then, of course, she won't have to deal with a lot of the tangling that she was dealing with. As you guys can also tell, she does have color on the ends of her hair. I'm going to assume that this is a color that she did years ago. And a lot of times that color will also split and create an environment of just tangling, and it's just not healthy for that hair that is actually in really, really good shape and it's not split or straight or heat damaged or whatever the situation may be. Now, you guys know with my big chops, I like to do mine with a notching method. I don't like my big chops to be like straight, hard lines, because that is it's just number one, not cute. Number two, it gives this illusion of choppy heaviness on the hair. So I like to keep my clients' hair nice and light. And then at the same time, at the end of the service, I do still give my client a full-on trim to even her out. But at this step of the process, the goal is to take off just a lot of those split ends and to also give her some good blending so that when she is wearing her hair wet like this, it's not looking very bulky or heavy at the base. Okay? Now, when I sprayed the Hydra Strength leave-in spray on her, you guys, I still sprayed the same amount as if I was doing her wash for the day, okay? You don't want to spray so much on that you can feel the product on the hair. You want to spray enough on that's going to, number one, help you to detangle, and number two, not over product or put a ton of product on the hair where you cause product buildup. And now you're trying to silk press through leave-in conditioner that you slathered on like it was a regular conditioner. So keep that in mind, you guys. Now, once we finished this part of the process, which was basically cutting off a lot of those straight ends, I rope twisted her and put her under the dryer. And then I went ahead and blow dried her so that we could start the silk press process. Now, for her silk press, I did not have to use the hot comb because I was able to get her hair almost 3/4 of the way straight. So I just used the 1-inch titanium iron to silk her out. This is also from H2 Pro, you guys. All of the irons that you guys see me using are available on my website at elitehaircareusa.com, as well as all of the products that you guys saw me use. Now, I am still doing large sections, even though she has really long hair. I'm using that 1-inch iron, but I'm still using it in large sections because I'm able to silk her hair really, really easily. And you have to kind of know when to do something and how to do it, right? So a lot of stylists like to do things where they're kind of like creatures of habit. They stay stuck in one direction. They don't look at the client's hair. They don't really analyze their client's hair to know what iron to use, what products to use, what products to not use. And that's the reason why there's a method to my madness. And I kind of always switch it up depending on the client, depending on the texture of their hair. Like it's always something different for me. Some clients get the same, some clients get something else. In her case, I did not even put Frizz Tamer and Shine Serum on her hair, you guys. I actually used the Hydra Strength leave-in spray as my heat protectant. And the reason why I didn't add any additional products to her hair is because I know I'm dealing with a client whose hair was already oily from the beginning because she has that overproduction of sebum on the scalp and in her hair. So you always want to make sure that you are tailoring to your situation at that time. And that's why I always say in my videos to you guys, hair care is what is happening to your hair at that very moment. Not what was happening 3 weeks ago, not what was happening a year ago. It is what is happening at this very moment, very time, or within the last 24 to 48 hours. That is how you determine what your hair is going to need or needs at this very moment. Outside of a relaxer, that is really the only time you'll ever see me standard in what I'm doing, because I know that relaxers are based on each client's situation rather than just being based on a time frame. So not every client is even going to get relaxed every 6 weeks. Not every client is going to get relaxed every 12 weeks. It is dependent on each individual client. So I want you guys to treat yourself exactly the same way. Everything you do to your hair is dependent on what your hair needs at that very moment, what's going on in your life at that very moment, what changes you need to make at that very moment. Now, you guys see me going through and doing her trim, but if you notice, I am not doing straight lines. I'm doing the notching technique that I was doing when I did the big chop. The reason for that is, as I said, I want to take some of the weight out, but I don't want to give her any hard lines. I want her hair to be nice and flowy, but I'm still following my guide. So I'm not giving her a butcher cut in so many words. If you guys notice that as I'm trimming her, she still is following that actual guide, like that line that I've created. I'm still following that, but I'm not giving her that hard, solid line. Hard lines give a lot of weight in the hair. She is already a client with extremely long hair, so I don't want to add any additional weight to her hair, but I don't want to give her too many layers either where it starts to look choppy. So like I said, you guys, there's always a method to my madness. Just do what I say, follow me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you are new here, because you've stumbled upon one of the best hair care channels, hair care brands, and hair care products on YouTube. So thank you for already subscribing. All right, so we are finishing up her cut. I know a lot of you are cringing right now, especially my I need to keep every strand of hair part of the tribe. But guess what, you guys? This is what she wanted to do. This is what she came here for. She actually drove almost 2 hours to get her hair cut by me. So I'm super, super thankful, super humble, because guess what? The fact that she was able to drive to me, and she goes to a salon, but she did not trust them enough to do this part of the process, that tells me that I'm definitely going in the right direction. And I am really thankful that you guys are supporting me and my brand. Okay, so now we are going to just style her really quickly. At this point, I'm doing very large sections, you guys. I am not going to do small sections. I'm also using the, come on now, okay. I'm also using the 1-inch titanium iron to silk her out. And I'm just kind of using the same iron for the entire service. Now, I could also have switched over to the 1 3/4 an inch ceramic iron, which is the red plate. But in her case, I was already super comfortable with the titanium iron. Number two, I know that she wants her hair to stay straighter for a much longer time because she does not wash or do her own hair. So I'm looking for the longevity without the heat damage. Plus, her hair was nice and silky. So if you guys notice, I'm doing like 6, 7, 8-inch sections, you guys. So I'm not going through and just overdoing it on her hair. And that's another thing for my stylists out there. Please be solid in your silking game. Be solid in your styling game, because this is really what is going to set you apart from a lot of those stylists that are out there who are just doing things just to do it. I actually have a love for what I'm doing, and I never thought that I would have this much of a love for what I'm doing. I love what I do. Okay? And God also blessed me with a product line to go right along with it to support the fact that I love what I do. And he knows that your girl has horrible spending habits. So that's the reason why I'm where I'm at. Anyway, you guys, I am all done with the styling portion. We're just going through with a wide tooth comb. I sprayed a little bit of goddess polish on her hair just to get rid of those flyaways. But her hair came out super pretty. She absolutely loved it. So please, you guys, comment down below. Tell us what you think. Thanks for watching. See you next video.